Hey, how's it going, Brian?
It's all right. You went clean shaven on us, huh?
I did. And you
Yeah.
decided to grow
I,
mustache.
I just I just cut the beard and left it.
There we go.
That's all I did. Let me adjust the lighting in here. I'll be right back.
How's it going, man?
It's to say a bad weekend, but
Oh no.
yeah, I mean it- just everything that can like go not necessarily wrong, but just like, just not the right way is that's what's happened. Like the latest caper was when the kid's mom was over here a few weeks ago, she had like put this bleach up like on top of the dryer. And I never use bleach, right? But I was like, okay, I really want to clean these towels. And so I picked up the bleach and the top wasn't on, and then it just splashed all over one of my shirts.
Yeah.
Not that it was a great shirt, not that it was a $200 shirt or $100 shirt. And it was an H&M, so I'm probably too old for that, you know? And so I
I
got
think
a
you could
bunch of,
rock it.
it looks like do you remember Hydrocolor or whatever
No.
those shirts were in the 90s where they had like, if you sweat, it got a different stain on them? I think it was called Hydro. It was something like that. But
That's
anyway,
crazy.
yeah. So I had that, and yesterday at the boat ramp was absolutely awful. Um, it was fine conditions, and then a high pressure front came through, and it was like maybe 4 degrees, and wind or 4 mile an hour winds, and it was like 20, and they're at the southwest, and so I'm in an open boat ramp. Like I'm not in a cove, I'm not in a marina, and it's like an open boat ramp, and it's like at least a foot in the channels, and there's foot waves crashing up on the shore. And so it's a southwest wind. So anytime I get like, and the problem is it's the ramp's not like it doesn't have a deep incline. It's very gradual.
Yeah.
And so like you on the lower tide, you got to really get your vehicle exposed, and you know, your trailer out there really like far out. And the waves were like crashing over the trailer. And like I was fishing with my friend, but she wasn't really of much help. So luckily this dude just like came out there, and he was like, come on. So I put the bow of the motor, right against the trailer. He held it. I jumped off, ran up there, and we winched the boat up, and then another dude came to hold it in position.
Man. Well, at least you got it going.
Yeah, I
It's
mean
good that
that's
guy was there.
yeah, no, exactly. Otherwise I would have probably just waited. I mean, and honestly, if I'd waited 30 minutes, the storm blew over.
Oh man.
But I didn't want it to get worse. You know what I mean? And it was just like one of those decisions where I was like, I gotta get off the water. um there was a dude going on a kayak, and I was like, dude, I hope you're not going out there. And he's like, oh no, 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 I'm going back there. And so
Mm.
I mean they had to walk their kayak like they were on land, and they were dragging it against the shoreline, and they like had to go like, they just had to fish behind this little cove.
You got to be careful out there, man,
Oh, I
especially in a
know.
kayak or
Oh, I
small boat,
know.
whatever.
I know.
Yeah.
The worst experience I ever had in my kayak was on a reservoir.
Yeah.
And so I didn't, so it's like, part of it is in the county I live, and part of it's not. I don't know if you ever heard of Lake Talquin, Ryan. You ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's up in the northwest. It's like a river that turns into a reservoir. They don't generate anymore. They used to, but it's a reservoir, and it's in a different county, and I forgot to check. It's in a city called Quincy, which is, I don't know, 20 miles away. And the forecast can be a lot different.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
so when I got
you don't
out there,
expect a
yeah,
small lake to have major issues, but I mean that happens
oh,
sometimes. I hear of people
yeah.
that I mean they have trouble on a small little lake.
Yeah,
Happened to me
and
once.
I mean, it's a narrow lake. It's
Yeah.
not super big, but it's kind of narrow, more almost like a river, but it does open up at certain points, but not necessarily here. But the issue is you got a deep channel that comes right in front of the marina.
Hmm.
And so like that wind was like howling 15 miles an hour. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go in this cove, right? So I can just get out there and skirt across, because I was in my pedal drive. And the wind switched. And then it was like south, it would have been, I guess it would have been northeast, and it was northwest. So it shifted. And then when I'm coming in, it's just like it was coming across the other way of the channel. And it was just like my bow was like, going up and doing the bow
Mhm.
slap. And I mean, if I had just a regular paddles, I would have been walking. I mean,
Yeah.
I would have just gone through someone's yard and been like, don't shoot me. I'm just literally, I'm gonna walk to the marina. Okay.
Like living in Florida or Texas, you always have to worry about that. Like, okay,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I'm not here to steal anything. Please don't kill me.
Yeah, no, I know. It's ridiculous. There's not exactly, what do you say, like a legacy of public land like you would in a place like
There isn't.
Vermont.
No.
No. And it's even like, I think you mentioned this one time, like you're in like a foot of water, but it's near someone's dock and they're like, that's my land. And you're
Yeah.
like, I don't know about that because
No, it's not. Yeah,
it's
by
not,
law, it's not. But
it's
they
not.
think, you know.
Yeah. And it's like, I can wait here if I want to, you may not like it, but I know that there's that issue with the water, like, I forget what's the term, but it's like where the median water line is. I think that's what it is kind of like, private property and government.
So here we
And
have it where the high water mark. So
that's what I mean.
technically,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
not the medium. They don't own any of it. So wherever the water reaches the highest. Now that can be so you can actually walk on the land if it's a low tide or whatever, technically. But then again, what is the highest point? Is it for the whole year? Is it forever? Whenever the water? So it's a little bit gray, but generally, as long as you're respectful, I think most people
Sometimes.
sometimes, hopefully, they
and-
respect
and-
you too. So.
And like I gave you a great example is my grandparents built a cottage down, it was like a no man's land. Do you guys know where St. George Island is?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so St. George is like, it's off of Apalachicola. If you're taking like
Mhm.
98, you should take the kids there sometime, Ryan.
I don't
It's,
have any kids.
well, some of the other guy, but you could go there and check it out. It's pretty nice. Or Sean, I mean, sorry. I mean, I don't want
That's
brains
okay.
dying here.
All right.
But yeah, Sean, you should go there and try it out sometime. It's
If I ever can
a
make
lot
it to
more
Florida,
expensive.
for sure.
Yeah.
The price of gas, though, right now, I don't know if I can. It's just,
well, it's not
It's
destined
actually
prices.
here. It's dropped significantly. I saw it for 389 today.
Whoa, it was
Yeah.
like 431, and I thought that was
No,
a bit of a dream.
389. I pulled the hell over so fast.
Yeah, yeah.
wow. I haven't checked today. Maybe it dropped here too. I know last time I checked, it was the high fours. So that's
Yeah,
good.
no, it's going down.
That's good.
Yeah. But it's like the boomer generation. Like, so the people that built a lot of these cottages were like, they didn't care. It's like whatever, like let people go walk by this little like breezeway, and like and you'll see this at a place like St. George and other places. You'll even see it at like Seaside, which is like so much more nicer than this place. I mean, it's like light years. You actually have like clear water,
Mhm.
and like the houses are multiple $1 million. But at any rate, like every 5 houses, you're supposed to have a breezeway where people can have access to the Gulf, right?
Mhm.
And it's like just over the years, like the county, they're just a bunch of like ignoramuses, and they don't even they hardly ever go down there, so they don't care. So they've just let people like build on those lots that were supposed to be designed like as easeways, or just let people just grow their own stuff over them or whatever. So there's only like 2 public ramps now, but like it's not only that, but people that have like the Gulf to Bay properties, because this island gets very narrow and there's just not a lot of space, but they're trying to claim it's their beach all the way to the water, which
Mm-mm.
that's not the case, but they want to keep the riffraff out of there.
And I
But
get
yeah,
that. I get that here too. Like we're close
Yeah.
to us. I'm in San Antonio, so I go to a river, and I get that. Like a lot of times you're walking along, and you see beer bottles and
Yeah.
trash all on the side. I try to pick up when I can, but I get that. You own property, and then you spend half a day a week trying to pick up the trash that a bunch of people come and are drinking and fishing and doing whatever on your property, you feel, and I get it. I get the frustration, but
I get that, but there's nobody, there's hardly any foot traffic down there. Like
yeah.
you're a good hard walk away from the, your kind of nearest public exit. So the only people really walking there are people that are just interested in exploring, like your typical beach going beer guzzler, that's out there to party and have a good time. They're not walking all the way down there. And it's also one of these areas that when you get far enough down there, there's like a big channel. And there's like, you go swimming there, you might be shark bait. I mean, there's some big bowls that hang out in there, and it gets very dark.
We actually recently just had a dolphin problem. There was a rogue dolphin that was like attacking people. It's like, you don't think dolphin, you think sharks, like, and dolphins, they're friendly. I mean, you saw Flipper, when you were young. It's like, oh, you see a dolphin come up, you're like, oh, that's fine. No, get out of the water, because the thing was like ramming people and then like I guess holding them under. And I mean, it was a crazy dolphin. They had that down here recently, at least from what I heard.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that. I feel like that would be a Florida thing though, like rogue dolphin, like attacking
the Florida
people.
man dolphin.
Yeah, or something like that. But it would be probably down like, what do you think? Not up here. It would be kind of like in that, like, not quite south central, but south of Tampa. I feel like is that where the rogue dolphin?
Somewhere in Sarasota.
Yeah, beginning there, Sarasota and like down, not quite to all the way to Miami, but like somewhere along there, it would be the wild dolphin.
I don't know Texas. I don't know Florida enough. I don't even know Texas enough, really. But I don't know Florida enough to know where the bad parts are. I get myself in trouble here, even. But
I'm a Floridian, but like once I get past Ocala, like that center, like the whole like central part of the state that's like doesn't touch inland or the waters, I have no idea. It's like, because they have all these small towns that just kind of bleed into Orlando and bleed out of it and then go on. And it's like, I have no idea. Like you could tell me you're from Florida and I'm like Clewistonville, and I'm like,
yeah,
where's that? And they're like, you don't know? Like, no, I don't. Tell me. And it's like, oh, it's southwest of Orlando, but close to Sarasota. And I'm like, that makes okay, whatever. It's like, I don't know. So there's just like
I don't know all of Texas either.
I don't know. Like, yeah. I know more of like Georgia, unfortunately, and like Arkansas than I do, even my.
So how's fishing been for you, Brian?
It's been okay. I mean, it's hot, just straight up. You already know it's hot in Texas. It's hot here.
For sure. And you guys are even more humid. I mean, I'm dripping sweat just being outside. I can't imagine there any kind of heat. I lived there for a short time, and I remember it was unbearable.
But yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, I just fishing till noon is a lot for me. I mean, I'm covered from head to toe. I mean, I say head to toe, but like at least from the knee up, I'm covered pretty much all the way. I'm wearing a hood, a hat, long sleeves. Like I'm not trying to be exposed.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. I mean, as long as you're fishing saltwater, it's not as bad because you get a breeze. But like, I'm drinking like 3 liters of water in like 4 hours just so I don't, pass out from dehydration out there. It's bad.
Yeah. So we hit 109 degrees a couple days ago.
Ooh.
It was bad. My buddy, he's on videos. You see him all the time, Johnny. I don't know if you've seen him on those videos. I go down fishing. I stay at his house. That's, but he works.
I think the name sounds familiar, especially when you go to like Corpus Christi, I think.
Yeah, that's where
the guy you go walking out there with.
Yep. So he's one of my best friends. I mean, I've known him for a long time, and he lets me stay at his house. Good guy, but he does construction. It's not construction. It's like basically like odd jobs kind of stuff, mostly landscaping. Mm-hmm. It's outdoor stuff. So he's doing a lot of like mowing lawns and doing, just anything really. He fixes up houses, kind of handyman, kind of whatever. But he's outside all day long working, in this heat. And the guy, man, I'm like, I don't know how you do it, dude. I mean, he does it like a good 7 hours a day in the heat, and I mean, he said that he weighs his clothes. he tried this once where he weighed his clothes before he went to work and he weighed them when he came back, and they were like 8 pounds heavier. So he lost 8 pounds of sweat, more than that because a lot of that evaporated. So
Yeah, that's unhealthy. You gotta be
oh,
drinking.
I don't know how he does it. I just
That's
guzzle. He's like, I drink Gatorade all day long. I mean, it's just like
Yeah, he's gonna
nonstop.
have to because the amount of like sodium he's gonna
Yeah,
lose is crazy. I
yeah.
can't.
I mean,
I
just me.
can't imagine.
Yeah, just me wading, fishing. I don't know how bad it is for you guys there, but here we get the um, flesh-eating bacteria in the water. So
I mean, that's only in freshwater, and that's a pretty
fresh.
rare. Yeah, that's freshwater only, I think. And
Okay, so here in the salt, we get it. And
really,
so
because
yeah,
saltwater usually kills that kind of thing.
no. So they had from this is a story I heard. I don't know if this is true, but apparently back in the 70s, all the hospitals were dumping like the waste, the out in the Gulf, out in the ocean, and so it built up so much from all the human waste out there. I mean, it's a problem. Flesh-eating bacteria and MRSA
Yeah.
in hospitals is a major issue,
Mm.
and all of it is like uh, because it's from the hospitals, it's antibacterial resistant, or antibiotic resistant. And so, yeah, it's all out there. You get stuck with a fish. Actually, this happened last trip. Someone was like, oh, it's not that bad to get stuck by one of the catfish, but they were freshwater fishermen. And I'm like, no, not in the ocean. You don't
Oh yeah,
understand. Like
no, no,
here,
no.
you get stuck with one. That's just injecting all that flesh-eating bacteria in wherever you get stuck. And I mean, people have died so many times from it. Usually it's someone unhealthy, like has cancer or whatever it may be, but even
Yeah.
healthy people every year die here from the flesh eating. So we were waders, which just makes it worse when we're out there in 100 something
Of
degrees.
course.
It's like a plastic bag around you and you're just so I
I'm
can't
trying to
imagine,
remember.
man.
I think there's like a specific way that's really bad to get the eating bacteria. I can't remember if it's through your nostrils or through your eyes, but it's not like the normal, like if you get it, in your mouth or on your skin or
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh
It's not
yeah.
like the
I think you
same.
have to have a cut or something.
Yeah, I know there's some kind of bacteria that when you get a cut, when you feel your cut start to sting, that's when it's bad. But
Mhm.
I can't remember if it's the flesh eating bacteria or not, honestly.
Yeah.
I remember I heard the story about a offshore fisherman. I think it was out of Tampa Bay. I mean, this is a few years ago, and he was fishing offshore, and he got either a fish stung him or the barb of his hook stung him, one of the two, and it was a small opening, and then it was the tingling, and then he noticed
Hmm.
that it was a serious like MRSA
Yep.
infection, and yeah, he
Yeah.
spent a few days in the hospital.
Mm.
So I worked on the boats, fishing down there in Port Aransas. So like on the Gulf, the same place, roughly the same place I go fish. And every single guy that worked on the boats ended up getting MRSA at one point. I mean, I worked there for about a year. Every single guy, except for me, I never got it somehow. Luckily, I mean, you know, I don't know why I never got it, but maybe I was more careful, didn't get poked by fish as much. I don't know, but I guess the warm water, I don't know. It just
Yeah,
stays
once the
there. But
water reaches a certain temperature, yeah, then it starts to grow.
yeah. And it's always hot. I mean, you wade, it's like bath water. It's like
Oh
80-degree
it's
water.
bad.
Yeah. Sometimes actually the water, it's like you think, okay, I'm gonna get in the water because it's refreshing because it's hot outside. No, it's like 90-degree water. You don't feel refreshed. It's you
Yeah,
almost got to
it
dunk
was
in and then get out and let the breeze hit you,
yeah, because it was bad. I was in Sarasota like a week ago, for they had a on foot snook tournament, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna wade by these docks. It's no big deal. I get in there, I'm like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. This
Yeah.
just like the water was so warm that I could feel like the sting of the heat the instant you touch it. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah. No, it's too much. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It just it is it hotter this summer than it was like in
I
recent
think
history?
it's hot. Yeah, I think there's something going on this season. I would say that it's definitely hotter than usual.
Ah, it's crazy.
And that's not just here, of course, that's everywhere. I mean, just
Yeah.
all over.
I feel it's about in some ways the same, although I think it's rained up here a little bit more than it
Mm.
has last summer. I mean, it's anecdotal, but I know the water isn't as bad, which isn't saying
Yeah.
much because of the rain. It's about like 75, which feels a lot different than 80. or 83, which is like a big difference. But yeah, when the water hits about 80, I don't really like to get into it. Just it's not
You
because it's
guys,
not
you guys live on
refreshing.
different parts of Florida, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm in
he's
the
more North Florida.
yeah,
I'm
Okay.
in Central Florida.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you might be getting more rain, maybe. I mean, here we have no rain. I mean,
It's
Okay.
funny,
it's
actually. We usually get a lot. He must be getting more because
Yeah.
we're not barely getting any.
weird. Yeah, we haven't gotten much at all. I think it's rained maybe like 3 times in the last 2 months. I mean, it's light. It's not. We had a one big storm come through, and it seemed like it dropped the temperature 5 degrees for one day, and that was it. And then we're right back
Yeah,
up. It's
that's
just
kind of how it is here.
yeah, it's rough. I know a lot of the reservoirs are really kind of hurting, and the rivers are really low. And I don't know if you've seen the reports of out in Lake Mead where I mean, there's nothing. There's no
It's
water.
dead.
It's
Yeah.
down to nothing. Scary. Hopefully we get some rain coming. Don't pray too hard for it though, because then if you remember California a couple years ago, they had a drought, and then all of a sudden it was like too much, and all their dams broke, like, or a couple of them at least. It's too
We're good
much.
here. We don't have dams. It's
Yeah.
just gonna flow.
No, you don't need them. Yeah, there's no dams. You don't need them there. It's lakes everywhere. You guys are just filled with water.
Yeah.
Are there any dams? I mean, I know there's the dam up Lake Talquin, but it doesn't generate. It just lets water. They shut it down in like the late 90s. So it's just, I don't know. They just keep the structure, I guess, just to manage the water flow.
Yeah.
But
I think
I
there
don't-
you just dig a hole, and it's so wet that it just fills up water.
I mean, I can't think of any other dam in the state though, really.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm aware of. I mean,
I know.
in
I
my
know here
personal-
we've got a couple, in San
We
Antonio,
don't.
even, right around
We
there.
have like spillways, but not
Yeah.
really dams.
Because I mean, Crystal River is like the closest because they have that like nuclear power plant or something, but I don't think there's a dam around it.
No, we don't. I don't think there's around. I mean, starting from like Orlando down,
Mhm.
I don't think there's any dams.
No.
So did
they
you end
have
up getting those game changers? Did they arrive yet?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got them a long
Okay,
time
good.
ago.
I didn't check with you. Sorry, I've been a little busy, so I didn't check to see if they arrived, and I haven't checked the tracking.
Oh no, man! If I didn't get them by now, I'd have been like, "Hey, man."
I was making sure. I'm glad that you got them.
Do you
Oh,
fish
yeah.
the feathered game changers in saltwater at all?
All right, so I just had made a white one for saltwater, and I haven't tried it yet.
Okay.
So I don't know how it'll be. I'm sure it's gonna work. I mean,
I'm just for the price. I don't even throw a game changer out in saltwater anytime this year, just because I don't want a Spanish mackerel to blast it. I don't want a 25-inch ladyfish to slam it and rip it in half and fly up in the air with it. I was
Do you
actually
find them to be durable, even the feathered
For me?
ones? Yeah.
it just depends because I mean, I've had some that last a really long time. They happen to be like that lucky one that lasts a long time, and then I'll have one that I've used like 3 or 4 times, and it goes. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It's just the luck of the draw sometimes, I think.
Sometimes it
Even
depends
like-
on where that fish tooth hits or something.
Yeah, because the majority of game changers for me I use for bass. I've been experimenting with them lately. That's just the best fly that I've been using for freshwater around Central Florida anyway. Then everything eats it. Bowfin eats it. Crappies eat it. I mean, shellcrackers, brim, bass, like everything. Like everything will eat it. It's olive. It swims and it's this big. Like everything's gonna eat it.
Yeah, that's what I still have of that micro pack that you sent me, Sean. I have one left, and it's like the one missing. Well, actually, I think I have a gray one left, but the white one that's still missing an eye. I'm like, I still fish that.
Yeah.
All the time.
If
The
it
eyes,
had no eyes, I would fish it. It doesn't make any difference.
yeah, the eyes are more for us. That's not the
Yeah.
fish. I mean, now there is something to said that the fish might go for the head, and they're looking for that spot or whatever for an eye. You can always use a Sharpie and put it in, and it's fine. It's more to make it look pretty. But
Whoever said that they're not looking because a fish is slamming it from the side. They don't give, or they're coming up from behind it and just inhaling the whole thing.
yeah,
My uncle, who was like a very great bass fisherman up here, always said that like he thought that the fish are actually more interested in imperfections if they're studying something, because like if something's missing an eye, then it's like, oh, that's an easy prey. It won't see me coming.
Yep.
Or like it's got like a dent in the tail or like whatever, they'll pick up on that, right?
Yeah,
And
you never
so-
see a lion go
Yep.
after the fastest gazelle. They go after the weak ones, you know? So same thing.
Yeah, and
Yep.
that's kind of why I don't like get too upset if I'm missing an ear,
Mhm.
or if like my fly pattern's not really like, there's like an imperfection in it. It's like just fish it, you know?
Yeah.
And just
Yeah,
get
and
it in
you
front
know,
of my
I
face.
do what I can to keep those eyes on, but it's just the luck. It's just how it is. They come off. It's impossible, you know. But
Oh,
again,
yeah.
like you guys say, it doesn't matter. So
No, it doesn't matter. I mean, the feather game changers by far are my favorite ones that you have tied in, at least in the game changer genre. They swim great. They stay under the water. They're the perfect. I mean, seriously. And I know it sounds like I'm gushing, but I mean they just swim exactly how I want them to swim. And when I can watch it and in the shallow water and like play with and be like, okay, I like exactly how it's doing in the reaction of my strip. Now I know that I can throw it out there and exactly what it's looked like. I can picture it in my mind. And so I know what they're gonna strike or
Yep.
whatever it is.
well, that's the thing, is those feathers move too. So the other game changer with the game changer chenille, they're good. You can make them look pretty because you can use markers, all different colors with it. But there isn't that kind of other dimension of movement.
Yeah, they don't
Those
flow as
feathers,
fast.
any kind, you strip it, and then even for like while it's going down, the feathers are moving. So it looks like scales or breathing or whatever. It just, yeah, for sure. I hear
Which
you.
gives me a question. You in your video, you're using dry fly material, right? Dry fly hackles,
For
the feather game changer.
no, they're
Oh, I was gonna say no way.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
no.
what,
So dry fly is really stiff. Dry fly
Okay.
hackle is stiff, so it sits on top of the water.
well, because that's what that's what I figured, but I saw you pulling out a hackle and I
Yeah,
thought it
so
said dry fly.
that's a soft hackle. So that's a hen
Okay.
saddle, which is
Okay,
made
gotcha.
for more. A lot of guys use those for, what is it called? Like salmon flies and stuff. A lot of collars or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of uses for them. Some people use them for like tails, like for like matuka flies. I'm probably saying that wrong, but they're soft hackle, so it's not stiff. You know, the fibers move a lot. They're really
Okay,
soft,
gotcha. Because that's
almost
what
like marabou in a way. You know,
because I was confused because it said the dry fly, but I'm thinking like that's got to be like it's got to be very soft for it to move like that. So
yeah, no. So dry fly will stick up straight, and it's not going to lay down. It's not going to flow. It's going to be stiff. And then if that was filled with that many dry fly, there's no way that would sink. There's not enough weight to get it down. So it would actually, maybe that would be a cool idea though, like part of the tail to have dry fly, and then maybe it would stick up a little bit, you know, kind of give a different action. Who knows? Something to,
Depends on what you're fishing for.
yeah. Carp.
Because I
Carp
mean,
love
for
that.
me, top waters, I don't know, it's just not my thing, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
it's hard. Like the local lake I fish here, you only get the little juniors to
Yeah.
participate because it's a clear. I think there's a few things. It's a clear lake. They can really study it, unless you're just kind of ripping it along the edge of like a lily pads or something, and they just see it come up and they pop it.
Mhm.
But even if you're throwing little poppers for like sunfish, they don't really come out. They really don't. But like, you know, there's 20 feet, 20-foot depths in there, 30, and just you never really see, or I've never heard of anything over 5 pounds crushing you know, a surface fly. But I love the last time I fished
Fun.
it. Yeah, oh no, like it was great to see the fish jump out of the water twice
Yeah.
and come for it. You know, there's nothing quite like it, but I said, the hell with it, you know, I'm sorry for the kids for cussing, but
I wouldn't say that's a cuss word.
okay, that's fine. I wouldn't either, but I started going subsurface on the lake and doing a full sink and fishing, you know, your micro game changer, and then Alvin Dito's, I think it's like the fatback baby, which is very similar. It's just, you know, it's the chocolate chenille, and you just have a rabbit strip is the
Okay.
tail,
Yeah.
and a little bit of a weed guard, and it kind of has similar action to it, and just fishing it up and down, because they have like these grass lines that stand up,
And so you can also sometimes jiggle, jig it up and let it drop. And sometimes the fish will hit them. Or if you just dart it through the grass, sometimes the fish are like, hey, that thing's trying to escape, and you trigger them. But
yeah, in the wintertime, I like to use a rapid strip pretty much for whatever. I'll hit some particular ponds and stuff just because I want to look for something different, and chain pickerel
yes,
in the
they're fun.
wintertime.
They're great.
Yeah,
They're great.
they're a lot of fun. I mean, they're toothy critters, but
We used to fish for them in Arkansas on the lake. They call them jackfish up in this area, but we just called them picks up there. But we would actually throw bigger flies at them, try to get them to entice them. But yeah, if you know, do you figure 8 for them?
no, I don't have to.
Yeah, you got, oh, really? Because they'll follow it for a while, and then we'll just have to figure 8 it like that. And sometimes they'll strike, but yeah, they're really weird on that lake. But no one ever threw a game changer at them because we didn't want to waste the flies on them. But
oh no, I wouldn't do that. They'll mess it up.
Yeah, but the conventional guys would throw jerk baits and just absolutely smoke them.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't want to throw anything that was too nice down there.
I don't think we have chain pickerel here. They look like little pike, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have too many, and they don't get very big here.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, so when I was in California, I lived in California. There's a little place I used to fish, Dana Point Harbor. There's a little harbor that I used to fish. And once a year, the baby barracuda would come in. And they weren't big, anywhere from here to here, and they weren't big. You just toss out a little tiny spinning rod, it was a blast. You fish 10-pound test on a little tiny spinning rod, throw out a little spoon or something flashy, and just rip it as fast as you could. Almost every cast you pull them up because they'd be so thick. Huh?
What size weight are you using for the picks?
Oh, not a 5, 6.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, because I was thinking we were using 8s to throw a little bit bigger, but they just, even when you catch a 24-incher, they weren't super powerful.
No.
But occasionally you get the mama, and when they were in that mating season, they do a dig or two. But yeah, I always thought I should downsize with a 6 or a 5.
Honestly, anything in freshwater, I won't go above a 6, even if I end up, maybe I've never gotten to a situation where I can't handle it with a 6.
No, I get it. It's only if you're throwing bigger flies,
True.
you're
and to be honest with you, I'm stubborn. Even if I'm gonna throw a big fly, I'm still gonna
I get
use
it.
a 6 weight.
I get it.
That's why I always tell people. Everyone asks, okay, is this enough for? Well, what size fly are you throwing? Everyone always asks, okay, I got a 5 weight. Can I fish for bass? Yeah.
Oh,
well, is that not enough rod for a bass? They're big, and it's well, some, but that's not the point. It's not. You can always fight a fish. You got enough line on there to fight a fish. It's not the weight of the rod. It's what you can cast out if you need to get distance. So if you need distance with a big popper, yeah, go to an 8 weight. But otherwise, fish small stuff, and you catch bass all day long.
Even big browns that are 24 inches and above, you don't need an 8 weight.
No, I caught that big brown on the 6 weight.
Yeah, same here. Everything that I've caught's on the 6 weight, but because if I'm going to throw all day, I'd rather have an 8 weight and throw a big drunken disorderly or peanut envy and just whip it out there with minimal, but that's the only reason why. I'd rather catch them on the 6 weight, use a smaller version. But when we go, when we're chucking meat for the brownies in December, January, and February, we're throwing
how big is a big fly? What are we talking about?
Like a double deceiver. So it's got a 2-aught.
So it's this big.
Yeah, about 6 inches. Yeah. So we're throwing we're throwing big meat at them.
Yeah, I'm never throwing anything that big. That's got to be why.
Yeah, and
you can do it. You can do it. You just gotta power that double haul.
Oh yeah, but I'm not gonna waste my time with that.
No. And even I was using, I think it was the Pro 2 from the TFO on the guide that I was fishing with. It's kind of soft, right? And I think if I had something like a Predator, like the Behemoth, or even something like that that's a little bit stiffer but soft, it'd be easier to cast. I had to work a little bit with that, which was kind of that's what
stiff rod is almost like going up a weight, for sure. Helps
I agree, because I have a 6 weight that I got from a company called Renegade. but it's like a fast 6-weight. It's just like a 5. I mean, I'd swear it was a 5-weight.
So
Yeah.
we've got about 4 minutes left on this. I want to say, since you guys are on here, what I want to kind of schedule, and that way everyone else can hear, maybe we can schedule next month. Because I think what happens is a lot of times I'll schedule it and I forget to schedule it. And then it's like, oh, shoot, I haven't done it this week. So I want to schedule it for next week before this ends. So that way everyone can hear it. And then whoever's watching knows, okay, well, that's when it's going to be. Because I think a lot of people aren't checking the Patreon, with the messages. And so, and then they're like, when was it? Oh, well, it was this time. I always get that, afterwards. So I want to make sure who wants to come can come. In August, what weekend Sunday works for you guys?
Not the last weekend, like.
Yeah,
before you
not
get
the
Memorial Day.
last weekend.
Yeah.
Would earlier, would like 7th or 14th work?
I mean, it kind of just, yeah, I mean, most likely unless I'm going to be out in the water.
Yeah,
but-
you don't know 100% for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
And if you like I've always said, this is not, obviously this isn't mandatory. I enjoy talking to you guys, but if you guys are busy, don't feel like this is not it's not mandatory for you guys to come. So, but I, it's fun for me.
is there a platform where we could do a live tie session, try it out?
I'm going to try to
Oh,
figure
you
that
could
out.
do that on Instagram.
Yeah.
Can you?
Oh, absolutely. People
Yeah,
do it all
yeah.
the time.
I don't know
Yeah.
how to do it. I am so technically
You can
uninclined,
totally
man.
you can go do it on Instagram and invite people. So like if you wanted to tie and Brian wanted to tie and like you guys
Oh.
can both be on the screen at the same time and then people can watch you and they'll write the comments and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I was thinking of something like that for the group.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
fun.
we
I'm sorry,
could
I keep on
totally do
doing it
that.
this way, but it's tough. So I wonder if there's a way, because this computer is not in my tying room, because there's not a desk for this computer in the
Use
tying
your
room.
phone if you got.
Yeah,
a
you
So-
can
phone.
totally use your phone.
Can
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially if you got a more recent iPhone, you're
I just don't
fine.
know how to set
I
it
mean,
up
I'm
where
using
I
my
guess
tablet right now.
I need to get like a little thing
Yeah,
to hold
stand.
it. So
Yeah. A tripod for it. will
yeah,
work.
I'll look it up, see if I can find something.
Yeah,
They
they're
have
not
it on
expensive.
Amazon for like $10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
bought one for about 15 or 20.
Okay.
And it works good. I mean, it's, you just, it's pretty basic,
Yeah, I'll try to figure that out. Maybe we can chat, since it seems like you know what you're talking about there, Ryan.
I got you.
You
Yeah.
can help me. Think of me as like a 90-year-old man that just got into computers. I don't know what
No,
I'm doing.
I'm dealing with a 90-year-old man, trust me, and you're light years ahead of him. I'm about to go.
I know,
leave to
but like
drive a
the new
90-year
stuff,
man
like I don't know
around.
the new stuff. I'm like
Oh.
that guy that's like, listen to young girls talk and is like, what's LOL? I don't know. I have no clue, man. I am so my own.
I feel you on that one. Like the new kids lingo, I'm like,
That's how it is with computers for me. It's too
Okay.
new, but
Actually, it would really probably benefit you, Sean, because you got a lot of stuff that you do on Instagram and you make the videos for YouTube and stuff. But if you did like Instagram Live, I think you'd probably get a lot of of traffic.
yeah,
Cool.
and more
Love that.
casual and serious people too, like other fly
Yep.
tires and yeah.
Especially if you pick the right night at the right time. If we do it on a Friday night after 5 o'clock, you'll probably
Yeah.
get a lot of people.
for
Yeah.
sure. I'll try it. Bear with me on my first try.
Yeah.
It's easy and it's free. That's the best part.
Yeah,
Nice.
and you have a big platform, so you'll automatically